This is 5 on your side at 10.
We are a nation in mourning tonight after a gunman opens fire in a grade school, killing 18 children. It is the deadliest shooting at an elementary school since the attack at Sandy Hook in 2012.
And this comes just 9 days after 10 people were shot and killed at a Buffalo supermarket. Tonight we're here not only to give you the most up-to-date information, but to hopefully provide some context and perspective about this awful day as we all try to process this together.
As a nation, we have to ask, when in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby?
President Biden delivered those remarks just 2 hours ago, calling on Congress to act and asking America to pray for the victims and their families. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Here's what we know tonight. The gunman entered the campus of Robb Elementary School just after noon today. And just moments ago, we learned it is now 19 students killed along with 2 teachers. The 18-year-old suspect and his grandmother are also dead. The shooting happened today in the town of Uvalde, Texas. That's about 90 miles west of San Antonio. Bree Jackson has the latest.
President Biden tonight addressing today's mass shooting at an elementary school in Texas. The commander-in-chief consoling the nation after the tragedy of innocent victims being gunned down.
To lose a child is like having a piece of your soul ripped away.
A Texas state senator briefed by Texas Rangers says at least 18 students and 3 adults are dead. Authorities identified the gunman as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. Officials say he abandoned his vehicle, entered the school with a handgun and possibly a rifle. He was later shot and killed by police responding to the shooting.
We're in the process of obtaining detailed background information on the subject.
This horrific scene happened at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, an area less than 100 miles west of San Antonio.
We are seeing way too many of these horrific mass murders.
The tragedy comes a week after a mass shooting at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, and more than a decade after the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School. This latest shooting is renewing passionate debates over gun control legislation.
Find a path forward here. Work with us to find a way to pass laws that make this less likely.
President Biden calling for action to prevent future tragedies.
Don't tell me we can't have an impact on this carnage.
A country once again experiencing unimaginable loss. In Washington, Bree Jackson for NBC News.
A Clayton business owner knows Uvalde, Texas very well. He told me tonight that his mom actually went to Robb Elementary because Uvalde is where his grandparents settled when they came to the United States.
So I spent many summers in Uvalde, Texas. I actually went to high school there for 1 year in my 9th grade as my parents were transferring from one company to the other in the northern part of Texas.
So give us an idea of the town and what it's like.
Now, it's about 16,000 people, very sleepy and quiet. I mean, everybody knows everybody, and I'm sure as the names get more and more released, more people are impacted. I'm sure my family will be impacted because they go to church there still, and they know everybody in a small community. So they'll, as this tragic event unfolds, more people will know. I'm sure we'll know more of those people that were affected.
So I'm wondering, when you heard the news today, what was going through your mind?
Just shocked. Just, you don't expect that in a small community like that.
John says his mom even walked down the street to the school today to see if she could offer some comfort.
Mental health experts and law enforcement say there are often patterns when it comes to the behavior of a mass shooter. Our Brent Solomon joining us now in studio with what he's learning.
And first, there's the question of school safety. One expert points to controlled, gated access, security cameras surrounding school buildings, and even military guards patrolling school grounds.
As the mass shooting unfolded at Robb Elementary School, St. Louis County Councilman Tim Fitch watched with familiarity.
The police response now is get there as soon as you can. The first officer on the scene goes in and takes on the gunman.
The former county police chief now consults other police departments on how to respond when there's an active shooter.
Many times we'll start with I'm going to go after this individual, this particular individual, a family member, and then the rage just builds. The rage builds, and what am I going to do next? What can I do to give the community, who I'm mad as hell at, the most shock factor? That's why they target these schools.
Authorities say the 18-year-old suspect in this case, Salvador Ramos, had just shot his grandmother before fatally shooting children and a teacher. Dr. Jamaica Cooper is the Director of Emergent Psychological Services in Clayton and teaches at Webster University.
They know that if they go in and hurt other people, that they're definitely going to be killed in the process. So sometimes it's a matter of self-destruction and suicide. They just want to do it that way. Other times it's a matter of I'm going to hurt as many people as I can on my way out.
She says this behavior is beyond typical mental health cases. She calls it an extreme scenario.
Sometimes it's a vendetta. It's revenge against teachers that you had when you were in the first grade who didn't treat you right. It could be peers that teased you or bullied you, and now you want to seek revenge on the context or the environment in which that happened.
Now, Fitch says he will be advocating for ARPA funds to be used for stepped-up security at county schools. He wants the governor to advocate for all Missouri localities to do the same.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson was in St. Louis tonight and offered his condolences and said more needs to be done.
When innocent children lose their lives, we've got to do a better job protecting them, whatever means that might take. But we've got to be able to stop these people getting into our schools.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker tweeted tonight, his prayers are with the victims' families and his resolve is with all Americans who are working to end senseless gun violence. You can get the latest developments on the Texas school shooting at KSDK.com and on the 5 on Your Side app. We'll send you alerts when new information comes in.
Right now, showers and storms are moving into the St. Louis region, so let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with what you can expect overnight and tomorrow.
I think we'll hear some thunder during the overnight hours. We're already hearing some out to the west of St. Louis right now. Showers and thunderstorms out along the Missouri River, drifting just east of Herman with your downpours over Berger, Missouri. That's going up right along Highway 47 into Warrenton. Yes, some cloud-to-ground lightning in there, so a little bit of noise and some decent heavy rainfall. And then you look to the south, look at all this rain coming out of Arkansas into southern Missouri. That's the next wave that's rolling our way. It will be working in here during the overnight hours, and there's a few more waves behind that. So showers and thunderstorms, they're going to be likely for our early Wednesday morning. We will see temperatures starting out tomorrow morning in the 60s, warmer than it's been the last couple of mornings, but not expecting severe weather overnight. There's a small window of opportunity for us to see some stronger storms. We'll show you when that would arrive in just a few minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott, thanks. Tonight, family, friends, and co-workers are remembering a Christian hospital paramedic.
She was killed in a weightlifting accident. Our Pepper Baker joins us live from the St. Louis County Health Department with details on this tragic loss. Pepper.
And Mike, Dolores Boschert had just started her career as a paramedic, and now she's going to continue helping people as an organ donor. Friends and family gathered here at the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's office just a few hours ago to pay their respects. Local EMS employees showed an outpouring support Tuesday afternoon for the loss of one of their own.
Officers received a call around 2:50 in the morning from somebody from Club Fitness who said that they had found a female under some weights.
Lieutenant Susan Shields with the St. Charles City Police Department confirmed it was 23-year-old Dolores Boschert, a Christian hospital EMS paramedic who frequently worked out around her shifts.
Unfortunately, she was by herself and nobody was able to give her aid. It was about 20 minutes from the time of the incident to when another gym goer came to the gym and discovered that she was in distress.
It happened at the Club Fitness in St. Charles, which is a 24-hour gym.
It was a Smith machine and she was back squatting. And it was fully investigated and it was an accident.
St. Charles Police Captain Ray Floyd believes Boschert either lost her balance or a muscle gave out. He thinks she fell forward, the weights pinned her to the floor, and she may have died from asphyxiation.
We had 4 officers respond and a supervisor, and they said that she was deceased.
Boschert was the 6th of 7 sisters. A few showed up to the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's office where Boschert's body was transported after her organs were donated.
Yeah, just an extremely sad situation. You know, we all feel horrible for her family and the tragic loss that it is to her family and to the community at large, and to her profession that she was just getting into.
Her sisters were too emotional to speak, but they told me that she was loving and so fun. She was the favorite aunt of all of her nieces and nephews. Earlier this month, her peers actually voted her Paramedic of the Year during the EMS week, and I'm told that services will be held likely next week. Live in St. Louis County, Pepper Baker, 5 on your side.
Tonight, a new class of certified city sheriff's deputies graduated. One of their goals, to help St. Louis police officers curb crime downtown. Now, Robert Townsend shows us how they're ready to put their training to the test.
A long line of them filed into the auditorium at Harris Stowe State University. Sheriff Vernon Betts and 23 deputies received their state-required Peace Officer Standards Training or POST certification.
I am extremely excited about having accomplished this.
Now the sheriff says he and his certified trained team are prepared to help St. Louis police keep downtown a much safer place.
We've taken guns off of folks, knives off of folks, and so we know that it's helped somewhat to get things down.
Traditionally, the city deputies' main duties consisted of courtroom security and serving restraining orders and evictions. But now the sergeants, lieutenants, and others are certified. They have the authority to assist city police officers with making arrests, issuing traffic tickets, conducting searches, and more along popular Washington Avenue.
We can book them, we can fingerprint them, we can photograph them, apply for the warrants and all, and not have to involve the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department.
The new post-certified deputies will be armed and will walk the streets of Washington Avenue on weekends. They'll also ride Metrolink trains and guard Metrolink stations.
We're ready.
But are they ready to reduce the shootings, homicides, and other violence that's plagued Wash Ave and some Metrolink stations? These newly trained city deputies say yes. Sergeant Whitney Wyndham is one of 4 women who completed the 10-month course.
So we're properly trained. We're just ready to get out there and work.
Now, I reached out to St. Louis Police about getting help, and a statement sent to 5 on Your Side. A police spokesperson says the department, quote, is always grateful for and receptive of additional resources to assist with keeping our citizens and cities safe. Now, Sheriff Betts also says the certified city deputies will start patrolling down here in Washington as early as this weekend. Another class starts in August. We're live downtown. Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Surviving the storm without adequate shelter.
I was pretty much kissing the concrete.
New photos tonight reveal how Amazon workers were unprepared for a deadly tornado. The push to make all buildings safer. Mile High Blues. The Note season is on the line tomorrow night in Colorado. The reason Coach Craig Berube thinks his team could still turn the series around.
Showers and storms rolling out of Arkansas into Missouri tonight. I'll show you why it's the wave that comes after this batch that we have to keep our eyes on.
Nearly 6 months after a tornado ripped apart the Amazon warehouse, we're getting a new bird's eye view of what it looks like today. From drone video, you can see a massive concrete slab where a huge part of the Edwardsville facility once stood. Now, tonight, Amazon tells us it plans to rebuild, but it hasn't provided a timeline of when that will happen.
A former delivery driver who survived the December storm believes more could have been done to keep workers out of harm's way. Tonight, the I-Team's Paula Vassan uncovers what's being done right now to make our buildings safer.
You're feeling like this gust of just like forceful winds, metal getting twisted.
I'd say about half of the building is destroyed.
32-year-old Jamarco Hickman remembers the last day he worked at Amazon.
My position was a delivery driver there.
When he came back to the warehouse after a day's work, he made it inside.
Oh, gosh.
With minutes to spare.
And you just heard everyone screaming, yelling.
At Amazon, had you ever been through a tornado drill?
No, I never. I just froze.
And says he didn't have a place to hide safely.
I was pretty much kissing the concrete.
We brought Hickman's experience to Riyadh Hindi, a structural engineering expert at St. Louis University. We showed him 34 photos given to us by the city of Edwardsville.
Do you see shelters here?
I don't see shelters in these pictures.
These photos were taken the night of the tornado by first responder Dan Bruno, who has a background in engineering. Bruno also put together this 4-page memo describing his concerns. Columns lifted out of the floor, significant structural issues he thinks may have contributed to the deadly collapse.
What do you think we've learned from the collapse of that Amazon warehouse?
We have to look at these standards codes or design codes and update them as we go.
Here are all the tornadoes in the U.S. over the past decade. In certain parts of the country, like Illinois and Missouri, they're especially common. In the last 10 years, there have been nearly 200 deaths, more than 1,700 injuries, and at least $4.7 billion in tornado damage. Most of that destruction happened in Joplin in 2011.
Experts we spoke with say stronger and well-enforced building codes would bring those numbers down.
Storms are going to get worse with our changing climate and more frequent. And so it's going to be a really important thing to start looking at, putting those structures in place.
State lawmaker Katie Stewart represents Madison and St. Clair counties.
We were all surprised to learn that we didn't have a state standard for tornado structures or safety procedures.
Across the U.S., builders generally aren't required to design for tornadoes.
We can do better.
She's calling for change.
I would love for Illinois to be on the leading edge, and I really think there should be national standards.
She sponsored House Bill 1563 in May. If it passes, it would create a task force to focus on tornado safety and storm shelters.
We're starting this from scratch.
It's a start, but it's definitely not enough.
Nothing will bring back the 6 lives lost.
And it could have been prevented.
Amazon says its warehouse was built to code to withstand 90-mile-per-hour winds. December's tornado packed winds around 155 miles per hour. If Amazon were to rebuild today, the codes would be the same. No storm shelters or structural changes required. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
If you have a tip for the 5 on your side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
We have some rain to our south, and it is heading our way, right, Scott?
It is. In fact, there's thunderstorms stretching all the way down south and through Arkansas, back into parts of Texas. You're looking at some large hail and torrential rainfall in Texas into Oklahoma, and mainly just heavy rain now across Arkansas. But this is all spreading up to the north. First waves coming across the Arkansas border now, sliding towards St. Louis. So we're going to continue to see this increase here as this whole system winds up and slowly meanders across the bi-state region over the next couple of days. Starting to pick up that leading edge from Arkansas, now coming in down towards Reynolds County, especially going south of Lesterville and heading into Iron County. It'll continue to push to the north. Outside of that, it's been pretty spotty as you work up to the west of St. Louis until you get to this cell that went over Herman. It's gone up west for the most part of the Warrenton area. That does have a bit of cloud to ground lightning, so some rumbles of thunder, nothing severe. It also has some downpours with it as it's sliding to the north, so it's staying mainly west of Troy. This is the batch that'll get in here very late tonight, and you'll have more scattered showers and thunderstorms through tomorrow morning's rush hour. Then it's going to scatter out. Here's the deal as we head towards midday. Yes, there could still be a couple of scattered thunderstorms, but we also expect to see a few peaks of sunshine trying to break through. And that should lead to additional showers and thunderstorms developing during the mid to late afternoon and heading towards rush hour into the early evening. Now, if it's unstable enough, if there's enough warmth and humidity mixed together and all the ingredients come together, a couple of those storms could be strong with some gusty winds, potentially an isolated tornado. We're not talking about anything widespread the way it looks right now, and it's a big if. But that would happen late tomorrow afternoon. Severe weather risk for tomorrow, so far, it's just the Category 1, a marginal risk. But again, everything's on the table as far as what might happen. So we know in the morning we have showers and thunderstorms. Downpours the biggest threat with that. We get into the afternoon hours as we heat up into the upper 70s, close to 80. That's when potentially we could see a few stronger storms. Now, this whole system's lingering with us. It's not a fast mover. So as we head into Thursday, you're looking at us being on the backside of it. We're a bit cooler, only around 70, and we have occasional showers that will last into Thursday night and maybe slow to leave as we head into Friday morning east of St. Louis. Still 71 right now as the clouds have rolled in. 73 was actually our high high for today. Morning low was 55. The next couple of days, we'll be talking about low temperatures that are a little bit warmer, especially tomorrow morning when we're in the mid-60s. Near 80 tomorrow afternoon, assuming we get a little sunshine. Again, your main area of showers and storms early in the morning, then that break, and then the potential during the afternoon of seeing a strong storm or two. Now, as we head into Thursday, there may be some rumbles of thunder. We don't expect severe weather on Thursday, but temperatures are in the low 70s. Heading into the Memorial Day weekend, it does still look dry, and it still looks like by Monday and Tuesday, it's feeling quite summer-like in St. Louis, back around 90 or low 90s for highs.
All right, Scott, thank you. Here's Frank.
Well, David Perron got hit with a fine. You've got to see this new facility at SLU. You may not want to see the Cardinals, but you'll want to see Hit and Run with Kenny Wallace. So I have a question. What is the purpose of the minor leagues? Develop players. Jordan Hicks has now started 8 games. Never once has he gone more than 5 innings. Why not let him develop as a starter in Memphis? In the 4th, Danny Jansen of the Toronto Blue Jays took Hicks deep for a 3-run homer. Hicks's line, 3 innings, 4 earned runs, 5 walks. He does have talent. Let him develop in Memphis, please. Speaking of talent, Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit this ball 438 feet. Toronto drills the Cardinals 8-1.
Chasing the Cubs, sponsored by Car Shield.
David Perron was fined $5,000 for this hit on Nazi Kadrid. Tomorrow the Blues are in Denver. Their task isn't impossible. Win 3 in a row against the Avalanche, but they've made it a lot harder. The coach is a believer, but only to a point.
The team's capable of doing it, and it's just a matter of going out and executing, then doing it. We got to skate. We didn't skate tonight. We weren't heavy enough. We didn't win enough 50-50 battles. That's got to be a must.
They did the groundbreaking today for the O'Loughlin Family Champion Center. In October of 2023, SLU will open the doors on one of the greatest facilities in the country. $25 million, 25,000 square feet. It will provide nutrition, wellness, academic support, and spiritual development for over 400 Billiken athletes.
We haven't found one that has all the facilities all together. Because of our unique size and nature, connected to Chaifetz Arena, connected to the practice facilities, we haven't found one that will have the facilities that the Billiken student athletes will have for many, many years.
It means the world to all of us as a community to get behind such a great university and to help student athletes out to propel them into the future, not only in athletics, but also in education.
I can't think of anybody I would rather play hit and run with than Kenny Wallace. It's rapid fire Q&A, no hedging is allowed. Let's play with one of our auto racing legends. How fast did you drive on the highway on your way down to Channel 5?
Got to about 90 one time because I didn't want to be that fast. I was running a little later than I thought. I shaved for you, which took a little longer.
Winning a NASCAR Cup race or hitting a home run at Busch Stadium, you can have one.
Oh, definitely winning a Cup race. You know, I finished second 3 times. I'll go to my grave with that. When I do this, that's because I never won a Cup race.
What famous person were you in awe of meeting?
Steven Tyler, the lead singer of Aerosmith.
What famous person did you meet that you were surprised they know who I am?
Willie McGee.
What is a perfect day for Kenny Wallace?
Oh, that's easy. A perfect day for Kenny Wallace right now is waking up when I get up, which is usually around 7:45, 8 o'clock, drinking about a cup and a half of coffee, and get rolling by about right at 10, head up to the shop, figure out what I want to do with my race car, and then deciding where I'm going to eat today.
Which brother got the most speeding tickets growing up?
I would say it would be Rusty, because Rusty's always in a hurry.
Sum up in 20 seconds your career in auto racing.
No, I'm a really good bench player, really good. And they could never fire me because I could sell sponsorship, because I can run this mouth, and all the teams wanted money. So I was a gamer, man. I stayed in the sport, won just enough, and yeah, that's me. I'm Kenny Wallace, man.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, he is. All right, Frank, thanks very much. We'll be right back. The Folds of Honor campaign, sponsored by Schnucks, kicks off tomorrow. You can round up at the register through July 4th. Of course, all the money raised goes towards scholarships for spouses and children of fallen and wounded service members. 5 on Your Side is a proud partner. And there you have it, 5 on Your Side at 10. Hug your children a little tighter tonight. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
His guests tonight, Ewan McGregor and Annie Murphy. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4:30 a.m. Have a good tomorrow.